Now, Kavita, please read the abstract slowly.
A systematic review of researchers and healthcare professionals' attitudes towards the secondary use and sharing of health administrative and clinical trial data was conducted using electronic data searching. Eligible article included those reporting qualitative and quantitative original research and published in English. No restriction were placed on the publication dates, study design, or disease setting. Two authors were involved in all stages of the review process. Conflicts were resolved by consensus. Data was extracted independently using a pre-pilot pre-plotted data extraction template. Quality and bias were assessed during the qualis.
Increase the size, Farah. Please increase the size. It is 150. You make it 200.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Using the Qualsist Connect for qualitative studies. 18 eligible articles were identified and articles were categorized into four key themes: barrier, facilitators, access, and ownership.
Okay, now
14.
stop. So up to this, we have understood that is what are the study designs, particularly for collection of the research paper and biasness, particularly the biasness that is controlled by the conscientious. Okay. Another important issue is that two authors were involved in all stages of the review process. So this is very important. It is not the single author, two authors are involved here. So whenever you do the systematic literature review, it is better to work jointly with another author. That is better, so that you can control the biasness. Okay. And the most important part is the theme identification. Here you can find out 18 eligible articles were identified, and articles were categorized into four key themes: barriers, facilitators, access, and ownership. Okay. So to study that these abstracts are related to the barriers, initially you have to make the code. And after that, you may get synthesis of the codes. Then you can tell that, okay, so all the codes are related to the barriers. In this manner, you will initially code the abstract, and after that, you make the synthesis. So this will be your four key themes. And again, after that, it is written 14 sub-themes were identified.
Right.
Okay, so under the barriers, you have some codes. And based upon that code, again, you can get some sub-theme. For example, in our BDSM study, the theme was psychological, and sub-themes are pain, empathy, sadism, anxiety, therapy, etc. Okay. Now, Kavita, next.
14 sub-themes were identified, while respondents were generally supportive of the data sharing. Concerns were expressed about access to data, data storage, infrastructure, and practice,
And consent.
perception of data ownership and acknowledgement, trust and policy frameworks influence sharing practice. At did age, discipline, professional focus, and world region. Young researchers were less willing to share data. They were willing to share in circumstances where they were acknowledged. While there is a general consensus that increased data sharing in health is beneficial to the wider scientific community, substantial barriers remain.
Okay. So it includes two things. Not only the publication, already published papers, but also collection of the research from the authors who have not published their paper. Okay. So from them also, they collected the abstract or the research paper that is mentioned here. Okay. Now Farah, go below. Shumana, please read background.
Sir, I have a query.
Yes, yes.
So actually, so in this systematic literature review, they have mentioned that they could only find 18 related articles to their theme or to their subject. So we have to mention that. So like you asked us to collect like 30 abstracts, but like I could also like notice that the abstracts that were actually related to my topic were like really few in number. So how do we go about it?
Yeah, if you have few in number, then this approach you can follow.
All right.
That is, maybe there are research papers not yet published. Okay. So you can collect that data from them. They have not published. For example, one has done some postgraduate dissertation in that particular article. Okay.
All right.
Particular area. So that postgraduate dissertation is available in the university or college. From there, you can get it. That is not published, but that data you can get. But you have to mention everything.
Right, sir. Right.
Here, one thing I want to know, sir. Suppose
Yes.
university dissertation we are collecting, because you know the research status, the quality of research status in universities, especially in respect of dissertation and all. So how we can include that? One. Second, that unpublished data of authentic, good research journals, it is not mentioned which data is not published. I mean, how we can take that unpublished data?
Two things are there.
Right, sir.
Published data, no problem.
Right.
Because reference you have to give.
True,
and
very
if
true.
it is unpublished, again you have to write the reference. That is, this is the unpublished dissertation submitted to some university for particular purpose and the date and other things.
Okay.
So that you can mention unpublished research paper.
Right. Here, one for this dissertation, my question is for quality.
Yeah,
Authenticity.
definitely. The quality is important because it is,
that is
suppose unpublished dissertation, maybe it's a doctoral dissertation, but and
true,
that
true.
is the valuable. So
Okay,
that
okay.
that means that is reviewed properly.
Right. And second, in a good journals, how very rarely I have seen that unpublished they mention, especially in ResearchGate and all. So they do not allow because of unpublished data. So over there, how we can find out unpublished data?
Now, in systematic literature review, you have mentioned that is since I have not received much research paper, therefore
Okay,
I
right.
have done this.
This is for the rare
Okay.
cases that is not that much publication is available. Right, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, sir.
Maybe you are talking about the pornographic addiction. Maybe
No, good
there,
number of good
yeah,
number of
acha,
good
good
number
number
of
of.
available.
Okay,
Good number of available. Yes, yes.
okay. Now another thing, particularly literature review, that is the number of your sample size.
Right.
If the sample size is very good, that means you are able to analyze the data from different perspective. But if
Okay.
your sample size is small, you are limited.
Right.
So that is also important factor for inclusion in your model.
Right.
Okay. Now, Shumana, please read.
Background. Healthcare systems generate large amounts of data. Approximately 80 MB of data are generated per patient per year. It is projected that this figure will continue to grow with an increasing reliance on technology and diagnostic capabilities. Healthcare data provides an opportunity for secondary data analysis with the capacity to greatly influence medical research, service planning, and health policy. There are many forms of data collected in the healthcare setting, including administrative and clinical trial data, which are at the focus of the review. Administrative data collected during patient's care in the primary, secondary, and tertiary settings can be analyzed to identify systematic issues and service gaps and used to inform improved health resourcing. Clinical trials play an essential role in furthering our understanding of disease, advancing new therapeutics, and developing improved supportive care interventions. However, clinical trials are expensive and can take several years to complete. A frequently quoted figure is that it takes 17 years for 14% of clinical research to benefit the patient. Those who argue for increased data sharing in healthcare suggest that it may lead to improved treatment decisions based on all available information, improved identification of causes and clinical manifestations of disease, and provide increased research transparency. In rare diseases, secondary data analysis may greatly accelerate the medical community's understanding of the disease pathology and influence treatment. Internationally, there are signs of movement towards greater transparency, particularly with regard to clinical research data. This change has been driven by governments, peak bodies, and clinician-led initiatives. One initiative led by the International Council of Medical Journal Editors now requires a data sharing plan for all clinical research submitted for publication in a member scientific journal. Further, international examples of data sharing can be seen in projects such as the Cancer Genome Atlas dataset and the surveillance, epidemiology, and end results database, which have been used to extensively for cancer research. However, consent, data ownership, privacy, intellectual property rights, and potential for misinterpretation of data remain areas of concern to individuals who are more circumspect about changing the data sharing norms. To date, there has been no published synthesis of views on data sharing from the perspectives of diverse professional stakeholders. Thus, we conducted a systematic review of the literature on the views of researchers and healthcare professionals regarding the sharing of health data.
Thank you. One sec. So, in this paragraph, we have understood what are the underlying reasons for the systematic review of the literature. Okay. So, you have to give adequate justification in the introduction why you are interested for the systematic literature review.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is vital. Okay. Next is the method. One sec. দাঁড়াও দেখি কে পড়বে আর সমানা ভালো পড়ে তো আর কে আছে অনুষ্কা প্লিজ you read method portion.
Yes, sir. This systematic literature review was part of a larger review of article addressing data sharing, undertaken in accordance with the PRISMA statement for systematic reviews and meta-analysis. The protocol was prospectively registered on Prospero. The following databases were researched: Embase, Medline, Cochrane Library, PubMed, Sinhel, Infomed Health Collection, Prospero Database of Systematic Reviews, PsycInfo, and ProQuest. The final search was conducted on 21st October 2018. No date restrictions were placed on the research. Key search terms are listed in Table 1. Papers were considered eligible if they were published in English, published in a peer-review journal, reported in original research, either qualitative or quantitative with any study design, related to data sharing in any disease setting, and included subjects over 18 years of age. Systematic literature reviews were included in the wider search but were not included in the results. Reference list and hand searching were undertaken to identify additional papers. Papers were considered ineligible if they focused on electronic health records, biobanking, or personal health records, or were review articles, opinion pieces, articles, letters, editorials, or thesis from master's or doctoral research. Duplicates were removed and title and abstract and full text screening were undertaken using the Cochrane Systematic Literature Review Program. Covidence, 2 authors were involved in all stages of the review process. Conflicts were resolved by consensus. Quality and bias were assessed at the study level using the Quist system for qualitative and quantitative and qualitative studies as described by Kmet et al. A maximum score of 20 is assigned to articles of high quality and low bias. The final Qualsys score is a proportion of the total with the possible score ranging from 0.0 to 1.0. Data extraction was undertaken using a pre-piloted form in Microsoft Excel.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Here, score of 20 is what does it mean, sir?
It is the particular scoring system, that is Qualsys system. Okay.
Right, sir.
It is written Qualsys score. So that is the system. I have no idea that particular system, but
Sir.
there is some scoring procedure.
Right, sir.
I think this is a weightage. This is basically the weightage.
Only for that squall
Yeah,
test, sir.
the weightage that indicates that is whether the articles are high quality or not. Nowadays, we will find that the several qualities we maintain,
Sir.
particularly whether you are following the stratified random sampling or not, and whether you have followed any experimental approach or not. If it is survey, show whether your data is more than 200 or not. And what are the methodologies you have followed, whether you have followed the multivariate modeling or not. So all those issues are the weightage.
Right, sir.
Okay, next.
Data extraction was undertaken using a pre-piloted form in Microsoft Excel. Data points included author, country, and year of study, study design and methodology, health setting, and key themes and results. Where available, detailed information on research participants was extracted, including age, sex, clinical, academic employment setting, publication and grant history, career stage, and world religion. Quantitative data was summarized using descriptive statistics. Synthesis of qualitative findings used a meta-ethnographic approach in accordance with guidelines from Lockwood et al. The main themes of each qualitative study were first identified and then combined, if relevant, into categories of commonality. Using a constant comparative approach, higher order themes and subthemes were developed. Quantitative data relevant to each theme were then incorporated. Using a framework analysis approach as described by Gale et al., the perspectives of different professional groups, researchers, healthcare professionals, data custodians, and ethics committees towards data sharing were identified. Where differences occurred, they are highlighted in the results. Similarly, where systematic differences according to other characteristics, such as age or years of experience, these are highlighted.
So this is clear, this method portion. Any question?
Sir, like they have used some sort of measure for analyzing their data. So, like, how can we use? How can we do the same thing?
I have told you now that is the weightage. You can
Yeah, yeah.
analyze the weightage of the different research article. For
How, sir?
example, when in case of the promotion, maybe at the professor level or the associate professor, whatever the levels are there, usually we request to submit 5 articles. And after that, these 5 articles are given some weightage based upon the criteria. Okay, for example, in our institute, we are paying much attention on the statistics part because that is the weightage. Okay, but in other institute, maybe the statistics is not the important. Maybe they are thinking about the what are the theories you have contributed. So it depends upon the weightage. What is your research question? Based upon that, you can give the weightage. And you have to mention that is, this is the weightage system I have followed.
But sir, wouldn't that include like our bias? But because I can assign whatever weightage I want. So how can we be objective?
No, the weightage, I have told you, these are some of the indicators of weightage. But there are some system is there. You can check this qual schist. That is one weightage system is there.
All right, sir.
And whatever I have told, that is also the weightage. Because this weightage is related to the regression analysis. Okay. For example, we are studying best paper award, etc. So that is based upon the weightage. Okay, sure. Who is next? Hello, Babita. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
Please, you read the results.
Okay, sir. This search identified 4,019 articles, of which 241 underwent full text screening. 73 articles met the inclusion criteria for the larger review. 5 systematic literature reviews were excluded, as was one article which presented duplicate result. This left a total of 67 articles eligible for review. See figure 1 for the prisma diagram describing study screening.
One sec. Now we have to go to the figure 1.
Okay, sir.
Farah, can you show the figure 1? Okay, you go to the figure 1. Now, this is a table 1.
Yes, sir.
But figure 1 below. Yeah, this is I think figure 1. Yeah, so just this
Yes,
one
figure
prisma.
one.
Now here you can find out 4,019 references imported for screening.
Yes.
And 68 duplicates removed. And out of that 3,951 studies screened against title and abstract. And based upon that, 3,710 studies excluded, 27 duplicates, and 3,684 irrelevant. So from there, you will get the 241 studies assessed for full text eligibility. Okay, so 241 studies you received wherein you will get the full text. Okay, thank you, Varsha. And 167 studies excluded. 47 review article, 27 biobanking, 22 genetics. So these are some of the themes. After that, 73 studies eligible. Systematic literature review 5 and 1 duplicate results. Next, 67 studies included, 23 privacy, trust and transparency, 27 concept. Researcher and healthcare professional safety. So this is the figure. Now you go to that, Farah, you go to the result section. Yes, Babita, please read it. So that is the prisma diagram. Next.
Yes. This systematic literature review was originally developed to identify attitude towards secondary use and sharing of health administrative and clinical trial data in breast cancer. However, as there was a paucity of material identified specifically related to this group, we present the multidisciplinary result of this research, and where the possible highlights results specific to breast cancer and cancer more generally. We believe that the material identified in this search is relevant and reflective of the wider attitude towards the data sharing within the scientific and medical communities and can be used to inform data sharing strategies in breast cancer. 18 of the 67 articles address the perspective of clinical and scientific researchers, data custodians, and ethics committee and were analyzed for this paper. The majority, 16 of articles focused on the view of researchers and health professionals. Only one article focused on the data custodians and ethics committee, respectively. 4 articles included a discussion on the attitudes of the both researchers and healthcare professionals and patient. Only results relating to researchers or clinicians are included in this analysis.
Okay. So how you have selected the article So that method is written here. And in this result section, prisma diagram has been followed. Okay, next. Next, who will read? Anthony, can you read? Study design location.
Sir, excuse me, sir. I could not, sir, because the letters are very small, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
It is 300.
But I
Not
find it
visible.
difficult. Yeah, visible, sir. But I use specs, no, sir. I find it difficult, sir.
Oh, acha.
The more I read, then I will
okay.
Will come down, sir. That's why.
Okay, Shubhana, can you read?
Yes, sir. Study design, location, and disciplines. Several study methodologies were used, including surveys, here n equal to 11, interviews and focus group, that is n equal to 6, and mixed methods where n equal to 1. Studies were conducted in several countries and regions. A breakdown by country and study is available in table 3.
Can you show the table 3? Table 2.
Table 3.
Yeah. This is the. So here we can find out country-wise.
Country-wise, how many studies were conducted?
Majority study in Germany.
The countries.
United States.
No, sir, it is reference given, sir. Majority study is multiple one and United States of America one.
Yes,
That
sir.
much articles are there, sir.
Yes, sir.
25,
Sir, reference
29,
numbers
30,
given.
35.
This is number of reference. How in which?
Oh, acha.
Serial number.
Okay.
But majorities have been taken from the multiple sites and USA. That is like 3 to 4.
Okay. Country study undertaken. Okay. It is alphabetical order. Okay. Now you go to that page. In addition to
papers focusing on general health and sciences, 2 articles included views from both science and non-science disciplines. Multiple sclerosis, mental health, and human immunodeficiency virus, acute immunodeficiency syndrome, tuberculosis, were each the subject of 1 article. Next is study quality. Result of the quality assessment are provided in table 2. Quality scores range from 0.7 to 1.0. That is possible range was 0.0 to 1.0. While none were blinded studies, most provided clear information on respondent selection, data analysis methods, and justifiable study design and methodologies. Next is themes. 4 key themes, barriers, facilitators, access, and ownerships were identified. 14 sub-themes were identified. A graphical representation of article themes is presented in figure 2. Two articles reflect the perspective of Research Ethics Committee and data custodians. Concerns noted by these groups are similar to those highlighted by researchers and healthcare professionals. Next is barriers and facilitators. Reasons for not sharing. 11 articles identified barriers to data sharing. Concerns cited by respondents included other researchers taking their results, having data misinterpreted or misattributed, loss of opportunities to maximize intellectual property, and loss of publication opportunities or funding.
Sir, 1 second, sir.
Uh,
Here they are telling, sir, there are barriers to data sharing. How the author who is reviewing will come to a conclusion that there are barriers, sir?
it is written here.
In limitation section, somehow.
Yeah, it is a loss of opportunities to maximize intellectual property, loss of publication opportunity, so funding. So these are the barriers. It is
No, will
written.
it be mentioned, sir? While publishing, they will mention it, sir.
Yeah. It is written there.
Right, sir. Right.
Mhm.
So I think that's why they have written the reference numbers, right? The articles to say
Yeah,
which
yeah.
articles are saying that.
Reference also there, 2022, 24.
Then again, we are exposing, no, sir. They want to not to share the this one data, but we are mentioning that 2022 something. These are the things that they don't want to share.
Yeah, it is possibly it is written there.
Sir.
Because here you can find out respondents included other researchers taking their results.
Sir.
That is also barrier. So what are the barriers in data sharing that has been identified by the authors?
Sir.
Okay, next, results of a qualitative study.
Results of a qualitative study showed respondents emphasize the competitive value of research data and its capacity to advance an individual's career, and the potential for competitive disadvantage with data sharing. Systematic issues related to increased data sharing were noted in several articles, where it was suggested the barriers are deeply rooted in the practices and culture of the research process, as well as the researchers themselves, and that scientific competition and a lack of incentive in academia to share data remain barriers to increased sharing. Insufficient time, lack of funding, limited storage infrastructure, and lack of procedural standards were also noted as barriers. Quantitative results demonstrated that the researchers did not have the right to make the data public, or that there was no requirement to share by the study sponsor. Maintaining the balance between investigator and funder interest and the protection of research subjects were also cited as barriers. Concern about privacy were noted in 4 articles. One study indicated that clinical researchers were significantly more concerned with issues of privacy compared to scientific researchers. The results of one qualitative study indicated that clinicians were more cautious than patients regarding the inclusion of personal information in a disease-specific registry. The author suggests that this may be a result of potential for legal challenges in the setting of a lack of explicit consent and consistent guidelines. Researchers, particularly clinical staff, indicated that they did not see sharing data in a repository as relevant to their work. Trust was also identified as a barrier to greater data sharing. Rathi et al. Identified that researchers were likely to withhold data if they mistrusted the intent of researcher requesting the information. Ethical, moral, and legal issues were other potential barriers cited. In one quantitative study, 74% of respondents, that is n equal to 317, indicated that ensuring appropriate data use was a concern. Other concerns included data not being appropriate for the requested purpose. Concerns about the data quality were also cited as a barrier to data reuse. Some respondents suggested that there was a perceived negative association of data reuse among health scientists.
Okay, stop. So here we can find out what are the barriers, number one, and number two, that is the reason for barriers. Okay, related to the data sharing. So that was the objective of this study. And so this is the result of the study. 4 sub-themes were identified. One is this barriers and facilitators, and some other things are there. Reasons for sharing. Another one is there. Reasons for sharing. Another one is there. Okay, so this is the table. And there is a specific format for writing the table. I have already told you how to write the table.
Yes, sir.
That is the protocol. And here you can find out this quality system score. It is written, quality score, 0.8. Okay. That is written. Thank you. Now here you can find out the author, location, date of data collection, methodology, sampling analysis, health condition setting, number of participants. This is vital. Participant demographics, because you have collected the full text. Therefore, you are able to get all the information. That
So
is
only
the age,
references will
career, state, discipline, full text. So only that is included in your study, particularly in this study. Full text is available. That is included in this study.
So I have a question for the
Yes.
table format. Like you explained that today, or was it some? I mean, I'm not able to remember that the table format.
No, table format I have already given. That is based upon your research question. Table format will be there. So it is their research question. Therefore, age, career state, discipline, employment setting, location, shakes, everything is written. And if your research question is the methodology particularly, then you have to give much importance on that particular area. So everything depends upon your research question.
Okay. Yeah.
That is
Sir,
vital.
excuse me, sir. How many literature it is required? Minimum, sir?
No, it is not like that. That is, if you find a particular period, maybe the last 10 years, you have noted maybe 300 literatures are available. And out of that, you have received only the full text of maybe the 10 articles. So you are writing everything based upon that 10 articles. Okay.
So we
So
don't have to
usually-
include the articles whose full text we have not been able to locate.
Yeah, because you have mentioned, for example, here it is clearly written. That is the inclusion and exclusion criteria.
Okay.
They have written, this is my inclusion criteria. I have received this article and the full text I find. Therefore, since full text is available, therefore, author is able to get all the information.
Mm-hmm. What if we are not able to find the full text, like just the abstract part, because most of the research websites do not let you access it. because then they charge you for it.
Yeah, that is the problem. No? That is problem
Yeah.
of Indian researchers. But
Yeah.
if you are working, because the people who are working in US, they are getting the full text.
No, sir, for our particular research, then how are we going to manage it? This one that we're doing. Suppose my topic is family climate, then how I'm going to go about it?
No, you have to first depend upon the abstract.
All
And
right.
if you find that is some abstract and that covers maximum research questions,
Mm-hmm.
then you can directly write the letter to the author that I am interested to have this particular article. So is it possible to send me?
Okay.
Then the author will send you the article to you.
Okay, sir.
You have to bear the cost of the communication. Then the charge will be less and you will be able to interact with the author. Sometimes the US authors, they will not charge anything. They will give their paper freely.
Usually, sir, it happens when we are writing the purpose that we are writing the systematic literature review. So they send without any cost.
Huh.
Yes, yes. So, sir,
Because,
one question was
because
please,
you
please.
are giving importance on that particular publication, no? And that will
Right.
be available in your research paper. And if
Right.
your paper will be published in the journal, then automatically author will be happy. You can send at least one paper
Yes.
to the author that we have mentioned your name and
The
thank you for submission.
citation score is also increasing for them also, right?
Yeah, so impact factor, if it is
For the
high.
systematic review, they usually don't charge anything. Happily they send this, but for the master study and others, they charge.
For the master study, yeah, that possibility is there.
For some
University can charge.
reliability, they are charging something.
That possibility is there. It depends upon the university, depends upon author, and many things.
Yes, sir, my one question is there that intervention studies are very less and usually the sample size is also very less. So suppose 10 or 12 studies if I am getting, so I can do accordingly, I mean for this strain analysis.
Sir, in case of the intervention study, you have to do the Cohen's D.
Cohen's D.
Yeah. I have planned to teach Cohen D today, but at least I have spent a lot of the time for reading the article. So next time I will discuss about the Cohen's D.
That's good, sir. Thank you, sir.
That is how to study the effect size.
Right, sir. Right. Effect size.
Yeah. So that is different type of article.
All right.
Okay. So now I think we have completed the time. So do you have any question? I think now you have understood why the coding is important. And how to synthesize the coding to extract the theme. And later on, how to describe the theme and the sub-theme. So
Right.
sub themes will be based upon your codes. Okay.
Ji, sir.
Is it clear to anybody or any question? Shumana, can you tell that is why sub themes are important?
Sub-themes. Sub-themes, on the basis of the sub-themes, we can categorize the data.
Yeah, we can categorize the total studies.
Number of articles.
Yeah, number of articles into few themes. And when we'll discuss the themes, then sub-themes are important because you are giving priority on the sub-themes. For example, here you have noted several sub-themes. That is the barriers issue. You have noted several sub-themes are there. Okay.
Right.
So today I want to close the session now. I think everybody has understood.
Ji, sir.
Ramamurthy, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have not requested to read, but I think you have understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sure. If you have any problem, please you write in the group.
Ji, sir.
Okay. So I am closing
Okay.
the session. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.